Welcome to West Ham Update TV. I'm back in the hot seat. I've kicked Addy back out after his sterling job last week. Thank you for filling in, Ad. After I come a cropper in France. I was just telling the boys I've managed to break my leg. I've got no skin on my old body. Don't ever go on an e-bike. If your kid has got an e-bike, check the limiter has not been taken off, because my kid's was. And yeah, I'm too old for it all. We're going to get straight into it today. Big news. Obviously, we've got coming up the Palace result after this, but big news coming out of the club today is that Karren Brady has resigned, stepped away from the club. We're going to come to you first, Mickey, on this, because you've been a big advocate of change at the club. So yes. I want to hear your views on Brady stepping away. So take it away.
I think it's a good thing. I just think there needs to be a whole change anyway. Personally, for me, I think a lot of them need going. Not just Brady. I think a lot of them. It would just be nice to just have a complete fresh start from it all. And I do think it starts with Brady, and I do think it's going to be a domino effect. Who goes next and whatnot from there. But it's just going by, all the fan advisory board. Like they put out a statement today, basically not even saying thanks. Do you know what I mean? It was just all condemning of her. And I just think, I think the time was right for her to have gone, especially after the last lot of accounts that come out. She's the one that deals with that. Do you know what I mean? She's, from all accounts, she was the one that dealt with the day-to-day dealings at the club. Do you know what I mean? Before Sullivan. So I do think it's the best thing that she's gone. Get someone in that is completely different to what she is, because I do think we need a complete different approach to things. The way that she was doing it, look at she's got the article in the papers like over the years slagging off Benni McCarthy and slagging off other clubs, and then you Leicester wouldn't deal with us because of what she said about their ball before. It was just all shambolic under her. So I was a big advocate for change with her. So it's good.
And for the viewers, I'm going to ask some opposing questions, because I know the overall sentiment from West Ham fans is happiness today that she's gone, right? But I'm going to ask some different questions, because I've watched a few different fan sites today, and I want to know why everyone's angry and what you want to change. So what has made you so angry about Karren Brady, her tenure at West Ham?
As I say, over the years, the article is one of them, because it has just put West Ham under a massive spotlight, with not just with our own fans, but with other club fans and other board members of other clubs. It's just always slagging people off on there. No matter what it was, it was just condemning of everyone. And I'm like, you ain't even got your own house in order, but you want to talk about other clubs' houses. Do you know what I mean? Like saying Benni McCarthy was massively overweight and fat and all this. Well, hold up, you signed him. So shouldn't you take some of the blame for that? Do you know? It was just always, there was never ever any accountability from her. No responsibility from her. It was always someone else's fault, someone else's problem. And I just see that throughout the whole club. Everything is someone else's fault. Like the fans, why the fans are not making the stadium what it should be. Well, it's not built as for fans. Do you know what I mean? It's just built as like a concert stadium. Do you know what I mean? You just go there, you watch things and go home afterwards. Well, it's not a football stadium. And that was basically her, what's the word, legacy, is the stadium. That's all what she kept talking about before we moved there. It was all about the legacy of her. And she's just failed miserably for me. She really just has. Really has. I don't know what the others...
I want to just look at this on the flip side as well. Or did she massively succeed? Her job was to get West Ham a new stadium for no money.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Did she completely do her job? And look, I'm not saying the stadium's perfect or anything at all. But what I'm saying is, we as a fan base want to push on. We've all said that, every one of us. Would you agree, Ad, that we all want to get higher and higher.
Yeah.
To do that, we need bigger grounds, bigger revenue, bigger commercial activities. Did she deliver that for us?
No, I was just going to say, you know, maybe she did, but not in the way that she said that she was going to deliver it to us. You know, talking about a world-class stadium, you know, getting it at the start, she was saying it's going to be transformed into a football stadium with removable seats and stuff like that. You know, that's what we were told. So, I mean, she may have done her job from a David Sullivan point of view, but she hasn't done her job from a West Ham fan base point of view, in my
I think that's fair enough.
Yeah.
Is she hampered? Because we all say, you just said it there, by that one line that she said, in probably at a time when she was hopeful that we were going to a world-class stadium, because it was a brand new 65,000 seater stadium. She said, world-class stadium, world-class team. Was she hampered by that one line for the rest of her career? I'm asking that.
For me, I
I
think
mean,
they have all that. Go on,
yeah,
sorry.
I mean, it definitely hasn't. No, sorry, mate, I interrupted. It definitely hasn't helped her at all. And like, so, I mean, I don't have loads to say on Brady. I'm obviously absolutely delighted that she's gone, but that's purely because I think she's terrible at her job. In terms of whether it's being involved with transfers, whether it's helping to recruit new managers, whether it's the communication to the fans or the lack of open dialogue with the fans, whether it's treating the fans just like customers, and the club is not succeeding. So she's not doing a good job. And that is my only reason why I want her out. And that's why I want Sullivan out, because they're not doing a good job as owners of our club. They're not, it's not run like a good business. So, you know, if it's not being run like a good business, I don't want them running the business. I want someone else who can run the business properly. You know, and it's not a business, it's more than a business, but just in a business sense, they're not doing a good job as business owners. So that's why I want them out. And that is the only reason I want them out. They're not doing a good job.
Okay. Damning verdict. Michael, coming to you, Mr. Steven Seagal. I'll call it you this week. I'm back.
That's the nickname, Nick. That's what I go by.
I watched the episode. I see you say I did watch the episode. I watched it. I thought it was very good.
I miss
He said,
being
"Oh,
called
I'm
it.
not going to get my nickname this week." Well, you are actually. I'm back. Steven Seagal. He's here.
There we go. There we go.
What do you take on it?
For me, it's I remember Birmingham fans saying to us, these lot are a bunch of wrong-uns and don't expect anything good. And I remember them vividly saying that to us, and I feel like everything they said came true.
But is it right? I say I'm playing devil's advocate here. Have Birmingham been back in a big time since they gone?
No, not at all. But they didn't really. I don't know if this is true, but then maybe they've been mismanaged as well. But it's obviously she did a job getting the stadium, and I sometimes disagree with people who complain about the stadium, because when we were in Europe winning Thursday night games, it was amazing. The problem is the PR of the club has just been run like such a shambles that we look so bad, and then we become a non-prospect for players and everything else, and we attract cheap talent, cheap recruitment officers, and Pablo and Tati are an example of that, because that's where we've become. And then my other problem is, I read today that the finances are no better, if not worse, than they were when they took over.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, surely not 16 years later, with this lovely stadium, with our European success and commercial markets up, how can you be in a worse position? That's scary to me. That's my biggest gripe.
Is that also because us fans we want more signings, we want big signings, we want like the 50 million spent and the full, which, to be fair, they have done. Look, I'm not saying that they've got any clue with their transfer policy whatsoever, because I in complete agreement. But I'm doing this as a devil's advocate style, just because because sometimes, and I'm going to ask a question in a minute, it will come to this in a minute. Grass isn't always greener. We've seen that with David Moyes. And interested if we're falling into the same trap with these guys, because I'll ask it now, actually. Who would everyone say right now, and I think it'd be unanimous, that we would like to buy our club? What nationality?
I mean, you just
What
want someone
nationality?
you want someone with pots of money, don't you? You want someone with pots of money. So I'd
Well, so
imagine
you'd want Qatar, the
yeah.
Saudis, the UAE, yeah? Like we'd all say,
Potentially depending on who they are and what they stand for. But yes, yeah.
yeah. So we would all like the Man City dream that they got, which I think that's got to be, other than Roman Abramovich, there's got to be the best ever owner of a football club. Done everything for the area, made Man City.
Yeah.
Here's my devil's advocate part. Newcastle got that 3 years ago, and they can't spend any money.
This is where I come in. Look, I say I come in. This is what I'll think of it. And if Newcastle would have been run properly previously, spent money, invested in the club, and was making European football regularly, or regularly, not every single season, but every other season, making the Champions League or Europa League or whatever, they would be able to spend now because their commercial side of things would have been a lot better than what it is now. And that's always been my thing with us. We got in Europe twice under Bilic. Yes, granted, it was only I can never say this, right? Preliminary rounds.
Preliminaries, yeah.
But we never invested.
Astracoglu.
Yeah, we never invested. It was all the frees, the loans, the cheap signings. He made one big signing in Payet, and then it was all like, well, let's not build a team around him. Let's just get a couple of little players like Havard Norvite and Arbeloa. And you just think, what are we doing? We're in Europe. Just spend a little, because what's the saying? Speculate to accumulate. Do you know what I mean? And you just think, well, if when we was in Europe under Bilic, if we would have progressed then, we would have been able to spend a lot more than what we can now. But it was never invested back then. 10 years ago, it was never put in back then.
But over the last 10 years, I believe we're the 7th biggest spending club.
But the problem with that is it was all mismanaged, weren't it? That's the problem.
Yeah.
It weren't run correctly. If it was run correctly,
Exactly.
which has to be down to them.
So then, what I'm saying is, are these the right owners if they're spending the right things and everything? If it's just set up right, because plenty of people have changed their ownership, and it's gone badly. Firstly, I think American owners would be the worst thing that would ever happen to us. You only have to look at Chelsea. Right, look what's happening with Chelsea now. Club that's so used to winning. And actually, I think they've probably won more trophies than anyone over the last 15 years. And now a charity shop, really, of like just buying and selling, like a swap shop, really. Leicester had an ownership change. Obviously, their owner died. Different owner. I know it was still in the family. Different owner. They're now in League One. So we can be stand. We want new owners. Unless this magic owner's out there that's going to do these amazing things for the club, I don't know. Do we really want what might be coming?
Maybe we don't, and maybe I think you're referring to basically David Sullivan staying on, but then there's got to be huge change at the club, isn't there? And he doesn't seem like the guy who's going to relinquish power and let someone run the club. If he was to do that, then it could work, but I just can't ever see him doing that, and that's why you want him out, because he won't do that. If he does do that, then yeah, there is a possibility. It's all about wanting the best for the football club, and not necessarily wanting the best for yourself, I think.
Yeah,
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that, and I do. That's why, and I really put us in that Moyes situation of like, we all want this new owner to come in, the fairy tale of it all goes right and everything's brilliant. We've had 2 owners in our lifetime, new owners. Both the Biscuit Barons came in and decimated the club. I would hazard a guess that if we do get new owners, it's probably going to be Americans that come in because they're buying everything. And I don't know if there's many good American owners. They don't understand the fan bases. They don't care about the fan bases. You are a consumer to an American. And I know that's how football's going anyway, but we have got more local people running the club. But I just think, as you say, if they'd done it better, because commercially we're fucking shambles. You only have to walk in our club shop. It's pathetic. It is really, really terrible. So like that needs to be better. Obviously, the recruitment is probably our biggest failure. Like I'm from a recruitment world. I can see that whoever's doing recruitment should not be in that job.
It's always been that though, ain't it? Since he's really taken over. I mean, the promises. I'll go back to his first.
Well, it's even before then, Mick. Like we've always done it this way. Our whole lifetime. Look, it's always getting a cheapie or a freebie or
My problem with it, when his first ever interview, the pair of them sitting there, and I remember them saying, within 5 years, we will be challenging for the Premier League and we'll be in the Champions League. And then in the next breath, they're turning around saying marquee signings and wanting to sign Ruud van Nistelrooy, who was finished 3 years before he even said that, and then David Beckham. And you just think, what are we doing? You know, all these promises that you keep giving us and never delivering. We ended up getting relegated within 2 and had Avram Grant as the manager. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what does me, is the promises and just shut your mouth. Stay back there. Let someone be your mouthpiece for you. You keep your mouth shut. You just put the money in, or lack of money, whatever, and just stop putting us in that domain in the papers of just keep promising stuff and then not delivering it. That was always my main issue. And I remember about a year after they bought us, I said, this is exactly how it's going to go. And lo and behold, 16 years later, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be after seeing that. It's just so badly run. They just can't seem to keep their mouth shut.
Although, to be fair to them, they have kept their mouth shut now. And then we moan about no communication. So we've all done that. Keep mouth shut. We have, and now we moan there's no communication. And then that's where like Mike, you just said it, where the communication's been terrible, things like that. But that's not Karren Brady's what she should be doing. You hit the nail on the head. What she should be doing is appointing someone who actually speaks to the fans a bit in a better way. And I think that's where we just never have the right people in the right jobs. And that's what it seems. But there's a lot of people that's left the club, haven't there, there's quite a few that have gone in the last week or so, isn't there?
Yeah, by the sounds of it, yeah.
So there is definitely something happening.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So it feels like
I think there is more to it than meets the eye, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? It just seems. Yeah. I've got a feeling there's just going to be so much over the next few months that's going to come out of her, especially with this woman that left back in December, that was really close with Brady and has now gone to work for the regulator. And then all of a sudden, you're seeing the accounts that have been absolutely dreadful. Brady's left, and all these people are leaving. Has there something that's gone on behind the scenes? Do you know what I mean? And they're all
or maybe it was like Sullivan said today, which is a very weird statement, as put it on the West Ham fans almost, of like, well, the West Ham fans have got their dreams.
Yes, I see that. Yeah,
ultimately they have, but again, devil's advocate, are Spurs better off without Daniel Levy?
Probably worse.
What I'm saying is, we're saying Karren Brady's our problem. Maybe she's not. Like, maybe she is tasked to do a job that was get us the stadium, which she done, and maybe she was actually quite good at her job. I don't know that. We'll only know that in time. Now, do I think there's better people out there to be doing than Brady? Yes, 100%. Do I think she probably gets slighted by all of us a little bit because she's a woman? Probably yes. I'm not going to lie at that. That probably goes against her, that people think, we're the only one with a lady that has been in charge. But she's been with David Sullivan now for 40 years. So she must have been quite good at her job to have kept that job for that time. I can't imagine David Sullivan's just kept her on because
she got
something
over
her
it.
dad.
She got something over
Yeah,
it.
that also.
No, I do get what you're saying, though.
Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that all sounds good. You know, like, what I mean is that makes it sound good. Or was she actually quite good at her job? Like I say, was her job get us in that stadium for nothing?
Simon Jordan
was the
said
best
it today,
deal
didn't
in the
he?
history of deals. That deal.
Yeah. On paper, yeah, and I said it back then. On paper, it's the best deal you could ever hope for. Do you know what I mean? As a West Ham thinking, well, we're only paying literally £2.5 million a year at the time for a stadium. You got to think, lovely, and that's where the point of like, where's the money gone? What's our outgoings? You know, we've sold off or remortgaged the training ground so many times. We don't own it no more. We don't own the training ground. That's where it comes to like. It just sounds so badly managed behind the scenes. But I don't also take your point, Sam, in you've got to turn around and say that Brady has probably done her job. She got us the stadium, which they wanted from the moment, even before they walked in, they was like, we want that stadium. No matter what, they was hell bent on getting that London stadium. Even though they had the planning permission at Upton Park, they had planning permission at I think it was the post office depot that the biscuit baron got. Do you know what I mean? They got all that before they even come in. They got the planning permission for both of the stadium to knock it down at Upton Park and rebuild, or just redevelop the sides and stuff like that. And they never followed. They was hell bent because, and it also says it when they was owners of Birmingham, they tried to get the council to pay for a stadium for Birmingham. And then when they said no, that's when they started mucking around a little bit up there and not doing what they needed to do for Birmingham. It went tits up there because they couldn't get their own way for the council to build them a stadium because they didn't want to put their hands in their pockets themselves and build it.
And then if we go back to it being a good deal, getting the stadium for free, which it was. I mean, anyone would jump you over that.
Yeah.
Then to not build and redevelop the training ground, that is criminal because you saved all that money that Arsenal and Tottenham had to spend. And we watched Arsenal suffer for years and years because they were paying off the stadium, and Tottenham did both. That I've seen their training ground; it's amazing, and we haven't done anything. And how did you not use the savings there? Massive savings, and then at least enhance it, because I'm pretty sure that people still say it's the worst training ground in the Premier League.
They spent $2.5 million.
And the Championship, I believe.
Yeah.
And the Championship, there you go.
Rotherham, when they got bought out a few years ago, their training ground's better than ours, and they're League One.
No, and this is the bits that I can't argue what you're saying. Like, there is no, that I'm trying to play both sides here, but there is no argument to that. And you know what it is? You can't just sit here and say they're bad, maybe they're a bit bad, foolish. They've had a gamble on the players and things like that, because they don't get to their level of being foolish. They're not foolish people. They're not, without a doubt. I know what some people have bad things, derogatory things say about Sullivan, Brady, things like that. They're not idiots. They can't be. You can't have that amount of money with being an idiot. Like, maybe you can if you won the lottery, but they didn't. They built businesses. They got there. They've had West Ham for 16 years. We've had amazing highs actually in their time and amazing lows. We haven't really had that in between. We've never been steady at any point. We're either up to our capacity or down. But as you say, how have we not built a training ground in that time? But I honestly mean this. I do think every West Ham fan, or 90% of the West Ham fans, would quite happily understand if they said, and I've said this for years, listen, we haven't got City's money. We're waiting for one of them to come along, but we're not going to give the club to the person's wrong hands. So we're going to have to reinvest over the next few years to training ground. That means the players, we're not going to be able to attract the £50 million player for a little while. And I think West Ham fans would go, yeah, I get it.
Fine.
we're building some foundations, and I think that is for me their biggest letdown, that they've never just took control of the fans and said, this is how it's being done. And it's for this reason, because we're going to be successful in 10 years, but we can't build it on these. You can't build a house on sand, is the saying. And we, every year, keep doing the sand building. And I say, it's decaying.
Yeah, it is.
That's what I'd like to see the club do, to be honest with you, is actually all take. We've said this many times. I'd love to see the club take a reset, but I am quite worried with Brady going, because who's coming in to replace her? Because we've got our wish, sack the board. She's gone. Are we, any of us, confident that West Ham's going to appoint someone amazing to run this club?
Obviously not, but that but I don't think West Ham fans just wanted Brady out, did they? That's the thing. They didn't just want Brady out.
No,
and that, they come as a pair in effect. And like you said before, like under Sullivan's eyes, she's probably done an amazing job for him in all this time. She's done exactly what he wanted her to do. So they come as a pair. It's not just, yes, we're happy Brady's gone, but it's not just her who needs to go, or it's not just her where the change needs to be. But you're right, yeah. So no, we haven't got no, there's no way that we're going to feel that they're going to bring in someone who's really competent at what they do.
Or maybe they are.
Hopefully.
Listen, actually, we can't, like I said, we can't ever go before that happen. Maybe they are looking at it and going, you know what? Let's do it properly. Let's hope. But
yeah, but it
doesn't fill you with confidence at the minute, because of obviously the signings.
There's nothing that would make you think that they will. They will.
But the thing is, I kind of see what Sammy's saying, because when those accounts come out, that's what, or even a couple of days before they come out, I think there was leaks that people knew how bad it was, and then you started hearing the murmurings of Brady could lose her job, Brady could be walking away. So I'm wondering if it's been a point of, right, keep her in situ until we are close to appointing someone, or that we've sanded out the person that we want to come in, take her job, and then she can slowly walk out the door and take the graceful way of saying, yeah, my time's up, see you later, instead of being pushed out, or made it look like that she's been pushed out. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that has happened. Only in the next few days that we're really going to find out.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe we'll never find out, because we don't find out much about the club, because we never hear about anything. Like we don't injuries, that we don't anything else. All I'll leave it on is I hope this is the start of change for the better, because we need it. We've had enough heartache, I think, as West Ham fans now, and I think we're over it, all of us. And I think one more terrible appointment, or one quick flip-flop appointment, could be really, really damning for us. Yeah. Moving on, we had a big game last night that I was so excited for, so nervous for. Addy, you went, didn't you?
Yeah, Mike. I was there with Mike last night.
Sounded like on the TV that the fans were brilliant last night.
It was actually a really good atmosphere. Kind of non-stop singing for the whole game. Yeah, it was really good. At least they turned up.
Yeah, listen, our fans always do, mostly. What did you make of the result? How are you feeling about it now? We've got sort of 24 hours behind us. The dust has settled.
Yeah, I was saying to Mick a bit earlier that I'm a bit torn about the result, because I think generally, going away from home in the Prem, getting a point is always seen as, a pretty good result. Going up against the Palace side, who are playing pretty well at the minute, to be fair. They're no mugs. On the face of it, a point away at Palace, you sort of take it. And I do think we get a little bit carried away sometimes when we win a game. We start thinking we can go anywhere and beat anyone. when on the face of it, we're not actually that good a side. You know, we look at our last away game to Aston Villa, we were absolutely hopeless. So, you know, we have come a long way since the start of the season when we were a complete mess. We have come a long way, but we're still not a great side. So to think we're just going to turn up and beat teams, you know, we need to rein it in a bit. Having said that, like the circumstances of the game, with Palace playing in the Conference League late last week, resting three of their main players, arguably their best player, Adam Morton, not being available. You know, nothing. They haven't really got much to play for in the league. I don't think we're going to get a better opportunity, you know, to win a game basically, or win away at Palace. So it's a little bit. I guess it is a little bit disappointing that we couldn't take advantage of that. It wasn't a great game. First half, I thought we were better. You know, we had a couple of chances where we could have nicked a goal. But then second half we were really poor, like a real lack of quality all over the pitch. Palace up the ante, brought on their better players, and they look like they look more likely to score a goal. So, you know, coming towards the end of the game, I was like, you know what? I think I'll take a point.
Yeah, and I think that's what Nuno did in the end, in the last 10 or whatever. I
Yeah.
think he looked at this and thought, we can lose this. Mateta was a handful up front.
Yeah, he was. And to be fair, it reminded me of the Fulham game, to be honest. We did play great in that game, but, you know, our two best attacking players combined to score a goal, and that won us the game. It was a similar performance, but we just couldn't get it over the line. And
I think we defended well.
Yeah, I was going to say, brilliant.
Really well. I actually thought that was Souček's best game for a long, maybe not right up until the end, but for a large part of that game, especially first half, I thought he was fantastic yesterday.
I thought first half he was really, really good. I think second half he struggled. I mean, they all struggled, and we just needed more in that position. First half he was brilliant. He was really, really good. But like you said, defensively, you know, we look so good now, and you know, that's really positive to take onto the next games, because if we can keep keeping clean sheets, we just need.
You've always got a chance.
We've always got a chance. So
we just don't look like scoring, do we? I've got to say, I know he takes a bit of flack lately, Bowen, but it was the first time I watched him last night that I thought, you seem really, really off it at this moment. It kind of was running blind alleys a lot. And I'd say I'm not digging Bowen out at all. He's our best player. But he just, I maybe would have put a Dharma on for him. But then I'm saying that, and I think he's useless. So it's like me and Mick were saying before. Oh, I'd like to see Wilson. Wilson comes on and he gives absolutely nothing.
No. That was the first game I watched of Bowen thinking, oh, you're getting absolutely dominated by their defenders.
Yeah. I don't usually see it, do you?
I don't think I've ever seen it happen before like that. To be fair, they were doubling up quite a lot on him, but he was getting out-muscled, out-sprinted, and I haven't seen that before. Like I would have taken Somerville off, to be honest, because I think he faded in the second half, and I would have brought.
Yeah, they both didn't. And when them two fade, we haven't got much, have we?
No, we haven't got anything.
Yeah.
We've got no
I must
at all.
admit, I think Bowen looks absolutely shattered. I think he looks completely wiped, and I've said it for a long time. And again, this is not me trying to slag him off or nothing like that. I think the best thing that the club, if he stays, I think the best thing the club can do for him is to take the captaincy off him. I just think it weighs far too much on him because he just loves the club.
I don't know if it does.
I think it does. I think he seems to take everything. I'm not saying he's the best of captains. I just think he thinks that he needs to do. I think he feels like he needs to do more work than he actually needs to do. Like if we went back a year and a half, Bowen was absolutely outstanding. I just think as soon as we gave him the captaincy, I think he tried to take too much on. I think he's tried to be how Noble was. He's trying to take the pressure on himself. He's trying to do more for the team than what he was doing before. And whereas I just think if you leave him being what he brings more to the team, which is out wide, using his pace, getting inside, and just trying sometimes to be a bit more selfish than getting back and helping your fullback out too much when we don't need you to. I think he's concentrating too much on the back work than he is where he's more dangerous. And I think you take the captaincy off him, you probably get the old Jarrod back. Hopefully. Hopefully.
I don't know. The only thing I'd say, maybe he's just tired. He plays every minute of every game.
Yeah.
That might be. He has just played a lot of football. You've got to think we've been in Europe for many years, like we were over 3 years. Maybe that's just having its toll, knocks, things like that. I don't know.
And that's it, yeah. I agree.
Yeah,
I think it has taken its toll. Go on, Eddie.
Yeah. No, mate, I was going to say, I think there is an element in what you're saying. I do feel like he's got the whole club on his shoulders. He's got the added pressure of home life as well, I'd imagine. But yeah, he is. I think he's doing so much defensively, and I think the change in shape has helped contributed to that as well. With the two up top, it means the two wide players now have to come a lot further back and trap the wingers and stuff. So he is. You
I
can't
was
fault
going to
him
say
for
the
that.
same
He's
thing. That
working
4-4-2
working
formation
back.
to play
We
to
do actually
squeeze
need
Pablo
him
and Tatty in,
higher
like
up the pitch because that's where
does
he's the
force
most
them both
dangerous.
back and Somerville as well.
But yeah,
he
he looks
playing just the one up
yeah,
top,
he looked shattered
and you
last
can
night.
push
He did look
Somerville
a shadow of
and
himself.
Bowen a lot higher, and I think
Would
that's
you-
what we were playing. But the problem
Mike?
is, I don't think I was going to say the same thing. That 4-4-2 formation to play to squeeze Pablo and Tatty in, just like Eddie said,
didn't really touch the ball.
does even though we were singing his name, weren't we, had to bring him on. If you're playing just the one up top, then you can push Somerville and Bowen a lot higher, and I think that's how we were playing. But the problem is, I don't think Tatty's good enough up front on his own, and definitely not Pablo, and probably not Wilson, because Wilson come off the bench and didn't really touch the ball. Even though we were singing his name, weren't we? Had to bring him on.
Yeah.
He come off the bench.
And listen, we all say it. We all say, get Wilson on, finisher, if he gets a chance. But when he comes on, he weakens the side every time. Like he just.
Well, no one else.
Again,
Why
have
would
we
sign
given him a
Callum
new
Wilson
contract?
except us,
Yeah.
and that's why
Just
we are this way.
It baffles me.
There is no other
Scares
thing.
me, actually.
That there is a
Scares me.
terrible, terrible footballing decision.
He did.
And that's not a dig at Callum Wilson, but he should not be at our club. He shouldn't be.
Well, no one
If
else
we-
would.
I don't
No
see
one
any
else would
difference
sign
with
Callum
him
Wilson
keeping
except
Antonio,
us, and that's why we
rather
are
than
this way.
replacing him with
Yeah.
But
There
to
was
replace
no
him with
other
And he
a
has
mate who
done nothing
dislikes
for
West
us,
Ham
has he?
anyway,
What's he scored? 3 goals, 4
and
goals?
then give him Antonio
He's
shirt
been
with a bit of a
a
piss take. And I
hindrance a
think
lot of the time when
just
he's
going
come
back to
on.
Brady and
He's
everyone
not
else,
been brilliant, has
giving
he?
Antonio a nice
I don't see
send
any
off
difference with him with keeping
like that.
Antonio rather than
No,
replacing
I
him.
agree.
But to replace him with his mate who dislikes West Ham anyway, and then give him Antonio's shirt with a bit of a piss take. And I think
Yeah.
just going back to Brady and everyone else, not giving Antonio a nice send off.
Yeah,
feel
I mean,
like
there's
So
things like
disrespectful.
yeah.
And they've done it to a lot of people over the years. They've done it to James Collins.
James Collins.
Yeah, they've done it to so many people over the years. And I just think it's so disrespectful. It really is so disrespectful. The fans want to say thank you. Do you know what I mean? They want to say
They have
thank
one
you
all
to
the
the
time,
fans,
yeah.
and you're just not allowing them to. All this with not giving people the testimonials. Like their thing was,
No, but
well,
they don't do testimonials anymore. No one gives testimonials anymore. It's because
but they
the
do
money.
it behind
That's why.
closed doors. Like Liverpool done it. Liverpool had one the other week, didn't they? They had a lot of their
They
old
have one all
legends
the time,
coming back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's for the game for Hillsborough, I believe. That's
Yeah,
why they do the Legends game. They do a Legends tour because they're a global club, like Man United do, and no club does testimonials anymore because it used to be to get your players a few quid when they retired, but now obviously
They
they're all
don't need it.
multi-millionaires. That is honestly why testimonials have stopped. But us as fans quite like the testimonials.
Is it?
I quite enjoyed the testimony. I used to think it was quite good, but I don't know if players now will actually think, I don't fucking organise all that, because players used to have to organise it all themselves, didn't they? Testimonial.
Well, I know Collins was
so I don't
really
know.
annoyed about it.
Well, yeah, I think James's was that he was let go by email after the game when he could have been told before the game and have a send-off.
I mean,
Which
there's
is
been
But also, the man was a fan's favourite. Just go and say, look, we're not renewing your contract. We're really sorry. We're going in a different direction. That's fair enough. Send an email.
He probably would have got that as well.
The same with Lanzini.
Is it the way you do
I think
it?
it was the Leeds game.
Imagine
Yeah,
any four of
on
us
his
got
last
sacked
appearance,
by
come off the
email
bench,
from
and they
work
could have even
after
just
working
said,
for a club
give
for
him a
10
nice
years or
send
something.
for the last time. They didn't even do that.
And that's exactly it.
They
You
don't
feel
have the
like
foresight
rubbish.
to
wouldn't
think
you?
about
Yeah.
what the fans would actually
We're
like
going
to
in a
see.
different direction. It's cowardly, isn't it? That's all it is.
Yeah.
They did the same with Lanzini. I think it was the Leeds game, and he scored in his last appearance, come off the bench, and they could have even just said, give him a nice send. Like for the last time, they didn't even do that. They don't have that foresight to think about what the fans would actually like to see.
Well, yeah, the fans.
Like, I see that clip of Jose Mourinho talking to Dele Alli's resurfaced again this week about like if you don't put it in, things like that. But what I'm saying is he had the balls to say that to Ali.
Yeah.
Listen, here's my worry for you. You're all good, but you don't put in the effort. You don't do this. But he had that difficult conversation with the kid. And if you remember in that same documentary, he also has that difficult conversation with Danny Rose.
Yeah, he does.
Face to face, where he says, "I don't rate you," sort of thing. Like,
yeah, not for me. Yeah.
And look, I wouldn't think that's a very nice conversation for anyone. So I wouldn't think anyone in football enjoys that conversation. Like,
I think they
kid
respect
go
it more,
at 15 or 16.
Of course, they respect it.
Then don't own a football club. Is actually the you know what comes with it. There's good parts, there's bad parts. That's one of the bad parts. Letting players go, letting see you later. But there's a way of doing things, and just say like we love you. But unfortunately, this is football. It's time to go now. And everyone plays football would go, fuck, I'm gutted, but thank you. You know, like. And as other clubs do it differently, don't they? You've seen Salah, they've just announced it, that he's going to be stepping down. Firmino did it. Klopp, like the way it was all done. Alex Ferguson, like it's been done right in other clubs, hasn't it? Let's move on quickly. We'll go quickly to the weekend. And if you're watching this, we might do a live at the end of the week before the weekend's games, because I think all three of us play at 3:00 on Saturday. Spurs and Forest.
I know Tottenham definitely do.
There's no European games this week, is there? So I think we will be, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a feeling it is. Obviously, the Palace has put us 2 points above Spurs. I'm worried by that. I said yesterday if we won, that I think we were up, that it was done. But I'm not so sure. I've always said I think it's us and Forest. And I just have this feeling that Spurs are going to get out of it. You know what it is? We're always so bloody unlucky. We're always the laughing stock. And I just worry about that. But let me tell you, it will be some season. If Spurs cock this up, Arsenal cock it up, and Millwall come up. My God, this will be some season, won't it? Because do you boys, what do you think of the Arsenal City? Who do you think wins it?
I think City. I thought City before they played them because I thought they'd beat them. And they're just on the momentum's with them. They look a really good side again. And Arsenal are not playing well. They played better against City at the weekend, but they're not playing well. Struggling to score goals. City for me.
Yeah,
right.
City as well.
Yeah, City for me and all.
I would have had this bet with literally anybody. If anyone said, "Oh, I'll have City," I would have. A week ago, I would, or 2 weeks or whatever it was, I would have had any money you wanted that Arsenal will win this. I was honestly convinced they would win a treble. I was convinced.
Yeah,
no one could tell me any different.
No, I was too.
City are going to drop points, and I still fancy City might, but they are on a rampage. Everyone said it, and I just could not see it. When they said, "Oh, City will be close," this and that. Now I do think City. I think they have blown it. It's mad, isn't it? I actually think we're going to get a draw against Arsenal.
Do you know what I can see happening? I can see, right? And you're all probably going to sit there and laugh, like seriously belly laugh with what I'm going to say, right? I can't see Arsenal doing anything.
That is funny.
In the next couple of years. Declan Rice's contract is up in 2 years or 3 years' time. I can see him leaving there. And what will he be? About 29 then? And I can see him coming back to West Ham. Told ya.
Let me tell you.
That is funny.
Told ya.
Fuck me. Thought I was the one that done the jokes around it. Yeah.
When we're in League One,
drinking this afternoon.
he'll come
Did you
back and
swallow a
save
joke
us
book
from
today,
League
mate?
One. Sorry, mate.
Did you swallow a joke book today? Oh, I've never heard so much bullshit in all my life. Forest.
Cheers, mate.
But yeah, no, I'm not with you on that one. I think that is the most hopeful West Ham bullshit I think I've ever heard. It's like Paolo Di Canio to manage us. You're one of them. You were
Lampard.
a Moyes out.
I'd have Lampard. I wouldn't have
You're
Di
a Moyes
Canio.
out. Saturday, it doesn't look like Forest are playing Wolves and Spurs. I'm trying to find Forest, but not. Doesn't look like they're playing Saturday. Let's have a look when they're playing. They're playing Friday. Sunderland away. Friday night. So
Tough
they
game
play
for them.
first. It's a tough game. Sunderland, they lost this week, didn't they?
Yeah, 4-3.
They lost 4-3, weren't it?
Yeah.
No, Forest have got quite a tough run.
I don't think they'll go there and win.
They've got the hardest running out of the three, I think.
Yeah, I think they have. But now they've got the points on the board, haven't they? Which is crucial at this stage.
And I do think Spurs. Do you think Spurs beat Wolves?
No, I don't. I don't think they'll go there and win. I don't know. Just don't.
Jamie Carragher doesn't. He didn't either last night. Carragher said that it's a tough place to go. Wolves away.
As well.
I think that's going to be their only win now.
I think.
Yeah. I think that'll be their only win.
I don't see Wolves scoring goals. They can't score goals at the minute. They've got Adam Armstrong up front. He's like championship at best. Where are they going to get the goals from?
And they're useless. They're rock bottom of the league. Like we're talking about, like when I heard Carragher saying about Wolves away. I'm thinking, are you fucking having a laugh? And they've won 3 games all year, haven't they? Like,
one of them was against us.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, that's true. Yeah, what they won 3 games this year. Like it's like we're talking about them like it's a formidable place to go. So I don't know. That's my thing. I don't know. I think Spurs do win this week.
No, I do.
Everton. David Moyes. How much do you reckon David Moyes would love to relegate West Ham?
I don't think he would, he never talked badly about the club.
I would. I know you don't, but I would. If I was him, I would want to fucking relegate him, wouldn't you? Booting him, having a go at him. I would 100% want to relegate West Ham if I was him. I don't think he'll make out. I think he's quite a gentleman, David Moyes, but deep down inside, surely, when you've been binned out of a club, would you want to?
Yeah.
I think they're going for Europe, aren't they?
Yeah.
Done well again.
They're 10th.
They've done really well.
Yeah. It's tough. It's a tough game, and they're good away from home as well this season.
And that Beto seems to be fucking doing all right now, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The weird one.
What was
they
lost
to season.
They lost to Everton, didn't they?
Lost to Liverpool.
Liverpool. Liverpool. Last minute, wasn't it?
You can see them too.
They played well in that game. Is it Braithwaite? Braithwaite, he got injured, so he won't be playing. I really like him. I think he's a really good defender, actually.
Yeah, he's good centre half.
He's out.
So that means Michael Keane.
Michael Keane are coming.
You can see them 2 defenders just bullying Pablo and Tarkowski.
You can see a draw there, though, can't you?
Yeah, I mean,
because again, they're quite good in defence. We're quite good in defence now. I can't believe you're saying that. But they haven't got amazing strike force, have they?
Enjoy's quality.
They don't score lots of goals, do they, Everton?
No. I think their midfield is better than ours, though. Dewsbury Hall, Garner.
Yeah. Is it Gay?
Yeah.
What's his name? That Ilman Unjai as well.
Enjoy's quality, yeah.
Enjoy, that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
Really good player.
Let's give some predictions. Mickey, what are you going?
I am actually. I've been so on the fence the last couple of days and that, or what I think the result was going to be, but I think we'll go and beat them. I think we'll beat them 2-1.
I hope you're right. 2-1, Addy?
Yeah, because I think we were unbeaten at home for quite a while, weren't we? No, it's a pick 'em. You know, it's just one of them games. Whoever takes their chances. Do you know what I mean? I know it's cliche, but it is literally that, because it'll be quite tight, and it's just whoever nicks it. My head says draw, to be honest, but I feel we really need to win that game. We've got to win that game. I think
we need to
Said
win
it for
somewhere,
the
don't we?
Palace game, I thought we'd win 1-0, and I was hoping that
we've been all right at
I'm going
home.
to say 1-0 again. I
So
don't see
you'd
many
hope
goals.
that this is a game that we can really step up. I'm going to say a draw.
Draw.
Yeah, low scoring 1-1 probably.
Mike?
Said it. I remember last year. I think it was 1-0. Nil-nil last year. It was just so obviously. I'm going to say 1-0 again. I don't see many goals. Defensive team.
Yeah, I think that's what I think. Two of the most boring football managers on planet Earth going against each other. I can't imagine this is going to be an amazing game.
I remember last year. I think it was it 0-0 last year, and it was just so obviously a 0-0.
Yeah, it was terrible game.
Yeah, that was
so
I
bad.
think that's exactly what I'm going to go for here. 0-0. And that's probably just off the back of watching a boring game, but kind of realising we're just not a good side. Like, we're not entertaining. We just haven't got the players. We haven't got the bench. And after that not winning at Palace, I am worried again, because I thought that was one of our because we lost some of the must wins that we had to win, so it became must wins. And I think our wins have to have come against Palace. It was one that we won, but Wolves, Palace, Brentford, Everton. I was certain that was where our wins were going to come from. Now, we might get a chance against Newcastle and Leeds, right? But this group was my must-win games for me. Is Newcastle at home?
Calvin Phillips away.
Yeah,
that's a tough game.
We ain't too bad up there, though, are we? The last couple of years, I don't think we've been too bad up until when we got spanked by them. Weren't we like 2-0 up or something? And we ended up losing like 4-3 or something like that a couple of years ago under Moyes. But I think since then,
Calvin Phillips gave away the penalty, wasn't it, against Andy Gordon?
That's it, yeah. But since then, we haven't done too bad up there.
Yeah. And
it's a tough place. They are poor at the minute.
Yeah.
Do you think they'd be mad to get rid of Eddie Howe?
I think he deserves another season. I really do.
I think he might.
I think that would be.
He won't play.
I think it'd be utter madness, because they lost.
Mick, just you said you think he'll walk.
Exactly.
I think
they lost all them goals.
Bad in the World Cup, and
Watermardo looked like he was going to be a blinding signing, didn't he, when they got him
one day.
And Vista, you would have thought, was a great signing as well.
He won't play either of them, no?
No, I know. It's weird, isn't it?
Mick, just you said you think he'll walk. I think if England do bad in the World Cup and Tuchel gets out, even though giving him another contract, I think Howe will be the future England manager.
Yeah, I do. I do think do you know what? I think he's at a point where he's like, I can't do no more at Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? And it is sliding the other way now. And I do think for him, I think it's a
rebuild, though. You know, like, I don't think we give managers or clubs, you know, like, we all want quick, instant success. I think, like, when I look back at Moyes' tenure now, it was a rebuild, and that's what probably Howe's flogged them players for a few years now. Your Trippiers have got older. Joe Willocks are not as good as anymore. You know, like, all them players. Joe Linton, is he as effective? Like, in there, they've lost Isak. They lost like a couple of others. And the defence got a bit older. And I think it probably needs a bit of a rebuild. And that's what we don't probably take into account. As fans, we want instant success. But sometimes that doesn't work, does it?
But they've got to sell again. There's talk that Gordon's going Bayern. Tonali wants out. So it's like, well, they're selling their better players. And I can't see better players that, like, really good players, turn around being like, well, you're selling your best players. I ain't going to go there when you're selling your best players. But they have to, because of all this PSR stuff. Do you know what I mean? Richest club in the world, but they have to sell. It's mad.
And that's where I say, with like, coming back to the beginning, is they've got the. Do you remember when the Saudis took over Newcastle? They were partying in the streets for days. They all had Mbappe masks on, didn't they? And do we think if we get our big owners that we're going to be so commercially successful that we're going to get bigger to that level? I don't know. I don't think you can chase that top anymore with that. With
Do
PSR.
you know what? I'll be completely honest. I'm not. If we got them, I won't complain about it. Do not get me wrong. If we got like billionaire owners, I wouldn't complain about it. But what I will say is, I just want owners that are going to be not come out and spout all the promises in the world and deliver nothing. I just want them to be honest. If they haven't got a piss in, say, listen, you know, we've got to do things a little bit differently here, but when we can invest in some players, like we will put money in the club. I've got no problem with having an owner like that, as long as he's honest about, you know, this is where we are. We are building towards something like this, and in 2, 3, 4 years' time, we are going to be in a position of being able to spend some money. But right now, we need to get sponsorship for the stadium. We need to get proper shirt sponsors that are going to bring in that money. It's like I'm hearing Aldi, if we stay in the league, are going to be our shirt sponsors next year. Well, that's meant to be one of the that's going to be our highest sponsorship since the owners have been there. And that's all I ask for, is just do things right commercially for the club that's going to allow us to move forward without just turning around and saying, well, you need to put your money in. Do it right. Sell the naming rights to the stadium if you can. You know, get proper shirt sponsors.
But then are we going to be happy? Are we... See, I agree with that. And that's why I think our current ownership could actually be that. If they actually decided to do that.
Yeah, they could.
Quite easy. Yep. They put in enough money, like for us, they do all that. As a fan base, though, we are part of that problem because we were on a great trajectory with David Moyes. And I know people go, we've got to go off, stop David Moyes. But it is the proof in the pudding of our fan base. We wasn't happy enough. We want more. David Moyes kept saying, listen, I'm delivering European football here. You know, like he kept saying it. Won your trophy. And we were like, fuck him with his winners trophy. And yes, did David Moyes do everything right? No. But our fan base also is a big part of our problem. And me included. I'm not saying just you watching at home. I just think all of us, we get carried away. Like we're saying, sell the naming rights and things like that. Then all of a sudden we're upset that it's not called the London Stadium. Or, you know, like there is these things that I still see it about like the ticketing at West Ham. West Ham's one of the cheapest tickets in the league, isn't it? Yeah. So people still go on about the tickets. Like you can buy a ticket at West Ham a season to get for 150 quid, can't you? But well, I don't want to sit upstairs. Well, hey, go and watch fucking Millwall then. You know, that's what I mean. So there is a big part of us, all of us, and as I say, I'm included in that are never happy with whatever happens. So we say we're happy with it. And would we be happy? We're going, well, yeah, we're going to invest in a training ground and things like that. I do think a lot of us would, if they're honest. But then how long until we go, well, I want more now?
As long as you can see something.
Football fans in general.
For me, as long as I can see something, as long as I can see an end goal to what their plans are and I can see it heading in that direction, I'll be happy with it. It's like going back to David Moyes. As much as I wanted him out, I don't necessarily put the whole blame on him either, because I don't think he was backed. Towards the end, he wasn't backed. Do you know what I mean? When we got to the Europa League semi-final the first time, we needed to go out in January and just get 2 players just to freshen that squad up a little. And I think we would have gone on to have won that, and he never got it. He never got that backing when he really needed it. That's where I think it went wrong for David Moyes.
Well, interesting week for the club, obviously. Do you know what? It's actually nice to not talk about the relegation as much today, wasn't it? It's all we talk about. But we'll finish it up there. Let us know your views below. Obviously, hit subscribe, give us a like, share it with your mates. But we'd love to hear from you as well. If you've got, like, you completely don't agree with us, agree with some, agree with not. I know this is going to be a polarizing topic, and I'm sure it's going to be something that we're going to come back to over the time. And there is no right answer to it. I don't think anyone's right, because none of us know how to run a football club. But it's good to have opinions, and we're not always right, all of us. But sometimes we are, and that is the thing. One thing we all do is love West Ham, and that's. But we all have different views in it. So, lovely
Cheers,
to see
guys.
you all, lads. And I will
Yes.
see you later this week. If you make sure you follow us on the Instagram, because we may do a impromptu little live, and I'll let you know on the Instagram this week. So West Ham Updates TV, follow us there, and we will see you all later. Cover you irons.
Come on,
Oh,
you
you
Cheers,
guys.
Irons.
guys.